Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the Legacy United Star Raider Lockdown. I'm having plenty of fun with this figure. This is sort of my first weaponizer, armorizer type of toy. Just because I didn't really feel a connection between the previous armorizer toys because they were mostly original characters. But now, for the first time, I think Lockdown is a pre-established character. I've been wanting to get a Lockdown toy for a while. I do understand that there's some people that's not too happy about his face sculpt, and they're saying that the head doesn't really match the body, but I'm really happy about the head sculpt. That's the thing that made me sort of buy this toy in the first place. To me, this is the first sort of Legacy United Movieverse toy in my head. It's based off the Hunt For The Decepticons toy. This toy has got so much presence, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't have his faults as well. So I'm going to talk through that. As you can see, this is not the stock Lockdown. I did add Siege Springer's little gun to the underside of Lockdown's fist to make the hook a little bit longer. And because I have his sort of blasters that's meant to connect to the hook to his hand, extending his legs right here, he can't really use that blaster to extend that hook, so I had to find some other way to make that sort of look happen. So personally, I do prefer this look for Lockdown, with the extended legs and the hook arm, because it truly resembles the Hunt for the Decepticons toy. I never gotten that toy, but I do have a toy that shares the mold. So this is Axel, and you can see how much bigger Axel is compared to Lockdown. The extended chicken legs do help match this look closer. So in my head, I am just treating this as the Movieverse Lockdown. Again, in my head, the Hunt for the Decepticons Lockdown and the one from Age of Extinction are the same character. Whenever I just look at that, I hear the Lockdown theme tune from Age of Extinction. Right, so this is the stock look for Legacy United Star Raider Lockdown, and as you can see, he is a lot shorter because he is a retool of the Junkion. So for size comparison, he is a small deluxe. So taking one of the smaller deluxes from Legacy, this is Elite 1 and they're sort of the same height. Because we're talking Age of Extinction, let's bring in Optimus Prime with his Knight Sword. This Lockdown is a lot shorter than the U-Series 86 magnificent Optimus Prime. And like I mentioned before, he is not without his faults. So right off the bat, I'm going to address that. And that is how loose his shoulder connection is. Yeah, he is a weaponizer and all his limbs are on 5mm peg and port. I think he's a good figure other than that and the small size. Let's bring in the accessory he comes with, because he comes with a lot. He comes with these two blasters that you've seen before, where I've used them to extend his chicken legs. This one I use on his right hand because in the animated show model he has some yellow on the right side, and according to the instructions you're meant to tab that into his right arm. He has another one that's meant to peg into his other arm, so he has double the firepower. He has these two engine block pieces that can combine, and they can sort of just store on the side of his arm like that. He also comes with these two engine pipe things. Instructions tell you to peg it onto the side of his shoulders like that to give him a taller stature. The three-piped engine thing isn't really a Lockdown thing in my head. This is more of a hot rod thing. So I normally just store it to the back. When you're pegging the blaster into his hand, it doesn't really leave too much space for the engine block peg to peg into the forearm. So what you can do is just leave it in the alt mode configuration and just leave it onto the side of the legs like that. And there you have the stock Lockdown, sort of all armoured up as well, and that is quite the look. So with him all armoured up, let's take a 360 look at the figure. And yeah, he is really good. He has really nice stable heels right here, and he has plenty more of those 5mm ports for you to attach all the other toys. And he has ports on the wheels as well. So all in all, a super fun figure. Articulation wise, he's not too bad as well. So let's just talk about that. Oh, as you can see, his leg just came loose by himself, and that's what I'm talking about, the loose connection. It could be tighter, but I sort of understand why they're making it slightly looser. Might be mold degradation, because again, he shares a mold with axle grease, but I think it's to make the connection into other figures easier when he's weaponizing them up. So back to articulation, his head is on just a swivel, so he can't look up and down. His arms, because they're on pegs, he does the full 360. His arms come up like that, and it's sort of hindered by the top of the shoulder, but it's not too bad of a range here. The shoulder connection is a bit weak. They're just friction hinged in, and you could sort of easily take it apart. Like, just the slightest bit of force detaches the forearm from the elbow, and that's a bit unfortunate. He has rotation at the waist. His legs kick up a lot, like way over 90 degrees. Legs kick back a super good amount as well. Kick out all the way. He has a swivel at the knee. He has a 90-degree bend at the knee. All in all, a super articulated figure, but this is not my preferred look for the toy. My preferred look for the toy is the one you saw at the beginning of the review, and we can have a lot more fun with that again. So to do that, you just detach that blaster from his forearm and do that on both sides. I just pull out the pipes because that's not a look for Lockdown, I think. I'm going to peg the yellow detail on his right side and then peg the black piece on his left side. I'm just going to peg that leg back to the back of the leg and do that same thing to the right side. And there we have an elevated Lockdown. So now instead of his arm turning into a hook, he's just holding a hook. But what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to use all the stock parts on the toy. Not a big fan of Lockdown with engine pipes, so I've just pegged both engine pipes into his back so they're not really visible. And I truly prefer this look. I'm just going to bring in Optimus Prime again, and as you can see, although Lockdown is still not as tall as Optimus Prime, their height difference is more formidable, I think. Let's try it with this Hunt for the Decepticon Optimus Prime. They're both Cyber Mission alumni. And speaking of Cyber Mission, I'm going to bring in Hunt for the Decepticons Ratchet. These two are looking good together. There's a lot of playability with Lockdown. I'm going to break my own rule. I'm going to bring an accessory from another figure. To me, this is an honorary piece of accessory for Legacy United Star Raider Lockdown. This is from the oversized KO version of Siege Megatron. So we're going to do something fun now. So untab the shoulders like that and free up his sort of head portion. That's going to allow us to fold in the head cavity after we move out the back flaps. And then now what we're going to do is rotate this piece upwards like that. Why is Lockdown without the head? Because we're doing gun face Lockdown. So now that you have a peg right at the center of that piece, slot that gun here. And what a fun look this is. This is the one where he's like, you all think you're the center of the universe. Stuff like that. I love this look. The reds on the barrel and the blacks on the gun match Lockdown perfectly. And that is why I say that this is an honorary piece of accessory that truly elevates Lockdown as a toy. Because Lockdown is an armorizer, we have to sort of armor people up with him. But before that, let's just do gun face comparison with Age of Extinction Lockdown for comparison as well. He doesn't really take any inspiration from Age of Extinction Lockdown in terms of look-wise, but in my headcanon they're the same character. This is my best take at weaponizing Elita 1 up with Lockdown. And this is a fun look, I think. And I just gave her these punching things to attach to her fists. I've got nowhere to put these exhaust pipes, so I just attach them to the legs. I didn't know what to do with the main Lockdown torso piece. She can step on it. Now reverting Lockdown back into his stock configuration, let's turn him into his alt mode. As far as I know, he's exactly the same as Axle Grease. So what we have to do now is just to first take off the accessories. So the two blasters come off and the two engine pipes come off as well. And that's all of it. What we do next is, you've seen before when I turn him into Gunface, hinge these shoulders forwards like that, so you get the head hinge untabbed, unfold the back panels, and flip his head in like so. Then we move on to the legs. We just collapse the leg like that, and do the same on the other side. After we've done that, just tab the legs together. We rotate him at the waist, and then we deal with the upper torso. So fold this green piece forwards like so, and then we work with the arms, and this is the most frustrating bit, but it's just frustrating, it's not complicated. So what we do with the upper arms are you close this piece inwards like so, and straighten out the arm panels so they're sort of perpendicular against the main chest panel like that. Then you rotate the fist, so find the smoothest part on the forearm, so this is it, and then just rotate the fist so that smooth part of the fist is aligning with the smooth part of the forearm. Then just double hinge it into the body, so this tab is going to tab in there, so just hinge it inwards like that, align it, and then there we have one arm done. I'm going to do the same for the other side, so fold this in, straighten this part out, rotate the fist so the smooth parts align, and then just peg the forearm into the inside of that arm. try your best not to unpeg the arms from the hinges and just combine these pieces together like so. You're going to want the underside of the forearm pieces to look like that. And now we're in the home stretch. So hinge the legs upwards like that and just start forming the car. So you can see the grooves, just fit that inside the sides of the leg like that. And then just close this part up. There's some tabs here that go into a slot. There. Just close this up like that. And there we have Lockdown in his base car mode, and this is really cool car. The colours really remind me of Kevin's car from Ben 10, and that is not a complaint at all. I love Ben 10. But now we have all these accessories we have to deal with, and fortunately these accessories combine to the car seamlessly. So first you take the blasters and align them like that, tab the blasters together like so. You see that there's two ports here. There's two pegs on the underside of that blaster as well. So just align that and peg it in. And that completes the back half of the alt mode. It's a really nice combination of colours. Red and green just work together, and you add black to it. Super sleek. So what's left now are these pipes. So just tab them here to the sides of the vehicle and do the same to the other side as well. And what a look this is. I know that this is not truly accurate to how Lockdown looked in the animated cartoon, but in my opinion it's enough to sort of give a vibe of the character, of him stealing people's parts and just using them to upgrade himself. Like he might have just taken down Hot Rod and just taken him from that. Or Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, he has those as well. Now for size comparison, here he is with Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, and yes, we know that Bumblebee is a small deluxe, but Lockdown isn't too small. He's a sizable deluxe alt mode, and all in all, a super fun toy. So all in all, Legacy United Star Raider Lockdown here is a super fun toy. And if you keep an open mind and just view him as a toy, not connected, and not compare him to previous Lockdown incarnations, you're bound to have a good time. This toy features a beautiful head sculpt and sharp details, as well as wonderful articulation and brilliant playability amongst the Legacy line with the weaponizer gimmick. He comes with a ton of accessories as well, and with these 5mm ports everywhere, you can peg other people's weapons onto him, and it just brings your imagination to life. So if you get the chance and you see Lockdown, maybe keep an open mind and you're going to have a good time like I did here. But that's it for the Lockdown review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please check out my other videos as well, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. But that's it again. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and goodbye.